Hello, welcome to Asset Manager Solutions for Your Business. You may well have looked at the introduction video. This video is now going to look at a more in-depth look at the Asset Register. Very easy to use. You click on the Asset Register button, beginning of your program, and this brings up the asset screen. Now then, you can have a look at here and you put in several items here. You can have an asset ID, which is automatically generated. You can put in your own description of the product, and you can select here who you want to allocate the asset to. So it'd be Harry Hobbit, or it can be Mr. Bog Wobbit. The supply that you select onto here will actually go into the supplies box down below. So if we'll just put that back to City Talk Communications, where we bought the telephones from. The status will show what the status of the product is, and you can put in a location, whichever location you want it to be at. If you've got a make and model, you can actually put up makes and models into there, or whatever you fancy you want to put in. You can actually update these statuses. So for example, if you want to update the status of a product, you click onto there, you can update it, save it, and then it'll be available for you to actually go in the drop down box at that side. Here you have your date acquired and the disposal date if you disposed of it. You may want to link it into your Sage accounts, for example, so you put in nominal code onto here. If the item were on hire, that'll actually change to red. We'll show you that in a smaller section later on. Let's go to the depreciation section. Accountants like depreciation, so let's alter the depreciation and say that it was £12.56 or $12.56 for that particular year. You'll notice that the asset value is now changed, and if we press this button down the bottom here, it'll actually bring up the asset value report, so you can see the net value or the book value for that particular asset in your company. Very useful, and again keeps all the accountants happy. Any faults that you've got or comments you want to make, I mean, for example, you may want to write here, so you could write in, let's just have a look and we'll put this in your comment here. So you can actually put a comment here and actually save the record. You can go to the actual data section of it onto here. Now this is quite useful. This particular asset is owned, so it's actually got a supplier invoice number. But you can actually put it onto any particular supplier agreement. So you might have an agreement, for example, that it's under hire purchase, and you may wish to change that, for example, to a contract hire item. It'll actually show you that the agreement's actually in date, and it'll actually show you, who you need to go to if you're going to find out you're suddenly going to have to release your telephones, for example. PAT testing. If the item is subject to PAT testing, you can click required to test. It'll tell you when the last PAT test was done, and it'll give you the PAT test result. Again, if you go into reports onto here, you can click a PAT testing status report, and any of the items that actually are subject to PAT testing, it'll give you a list on here and it'll let you know exactly what the test result was and when you need to retest it. Very useful if you need to be able to keep up to date on your actual records. Let's select a different record. Let's go to this Dell monitor here. Now this particular one here, you've now noticed that the hire's gone to red. So if you go to the hire log, which we saw in our introductory video, you can see that this item's actually hired out at the moment. So you may want to find out where it is. Very easy. You click on the Open Hire module, and you can see that it's gone to a site called Shunters Halt. So if you want to find that item and bring it back to you, you click onto there, and it gives you the contact details for that particular site. Very, very useful, very easy to do, great for construction companies and people that are sending hiring equipment out onto site. Again, there's a variety of reports available on here, which will let you which ones are overdue and which ones are actually where they are at the moment. Very comprehensive, very easy to use. Documents. Let's have a look at an asset that's actually got some documents in here. So let's have a look. We've got a router here that's part of the telephone system. As you can see, the user guide and the quick start guide have been stored in the document section, and by double clicking on the document logo there, it'll actually bring up the PDF file associated with that item. The link to assets section here, very useful, this section. You may have a load of assets that are actually linked and used together, so you can actually have a look at any other assets that depend on each other. So with this being part of the telephone system, for example, you can go to asset number 7 and you'll find out that that's where it's actually related to that previous router. Now, one little useful feature that AssetManager program has is you can put your barcode numbers in and automatically generate a barcode for the item. So therefore you can actually use your scanner on the screen and actually scan it into other types of software that you've actually got. Very useful, very good. For mobile phones, you can record the mobile number, the SIM number, and the IMEI number. So it's got somewhere to put all that. If it's a computer, you can actually put in your service tags, your processor details, your software details, somewhere to store all the information that you normally lose. The expirations department tells you when the next safety inspection is due. It'll tell you if the pad testing is up to date or the calibration needs to be up to date. Again, if you want to have a reminder of that, you simply click the Outlook button onto here and it'll actually add the reminder to Outlook. So it's very, very simple, very easy to use, and it actually ties into your existing software on your desk. Again, very comprehensive, very simple, nothing hard about it at all. The insurance tab. This will tell you which insurance policy this asset's covered by. It'll tell you whether the policy's up to date and whether you need to do anything about it or not. And obviously if it's covered, you don't need to worry about it. However, if you do have an accident or you need to make an insurance claim on it, if you click on the insurance management section, it'll actually bring up and give you the contact details for that policy. Again, this policy is up to date, but it does give you all the contact for it. And if you wanted to have an insurance claim on that, again, you can click onto there and you can actually make an insurance claim for that particular item. So you can see for the asset module, it's very comprehensive, very simple to use, and very, very easy indeed. If you wish to purchase our software, go to www.assetmanager.org, and the program starts at £299 for a single user. Now, there's a few little features that may be quite useful to you to have a little look at down the side. You can add or delete your agreement types. If you want to update the type of agreement, you can actually update them onto that side. If you actually want to update the agreements themselves, it'll give you the chance to select an agreement, a particular type of agreement. Click onto there and it'll actually let you update the agreement that you want to use in that particular screen. Again, it uses the traffic light system. If agreement's in date, it'll be green. If it's expired, it'll actually be in red, which makes it very, very simple to use. If you want to hire the item out, hire the asset out, or lend it to a site, for example, just open the hire module, and again, you can create a new hire for it. Very simple, very easy to use. If you want to refresh your data, after you've updated it, for example, just give it a click, and you can actually update the data. At any time, you can actually add a new supplier. So it'll go to the supplier screen, and you can simply update that supplier, and it'll give you details of any assets you've actually purchased from that supplier. For example, if we go to telecommunications company, you can see the assets there that you've actually bought from this telecommunications company. Really quite simple, very slick to use, very easily. It has a couple of security features on this screen as well. If you have a look at the top there, it tells you who actually altered the asset last. So if there's been a mistake made or somebody's altered the software for any reason, it'll actually tell you who was the last person who was there. Good security feature, and if there's a problem, you can actually go and find it. It has a fault log, so if any faults are overdue, it'll actually show them on the screen, and if any maintenance is due, it'll actually show it on the screen. Again, if you want to do some maintenance, you simply click onto the maintenance button, and it'll bring up the maintenance log. And if you want to do a new maintenance record, you click on new maintenance, and it'll start a new maintenance procedure for that asset. Again, very comprehensive, very, very simple to use. If you want to have a printout of your asset details, you press the printout button and it'll give you an asset report on that asset. Very good reporting, very, very simple to use. You can edit and put your own reports in. So for example, if you want to have a report of assets by employee, you click on the link, open the report, and you can see here's the things that are actually allocated to Harry Hobbit at the moment. Again, quite simple to use. It does have a very interesting report. There's one report called Flexible Asset Report. This actually lets you pick the fields that you actually want to put in. So you can say I want to know all the details of things acquired by a certain date and items that I sold by a certain date. Click Make Report. Very, very simple. And there you go. It's actually done you a custom report and lets you know the date that you report items and if you've sold them. But again, you can choose any fields that you want to use for that report. Very, very simple and very, very easy to use. If you've got any questions, further questions on this particular module, just simply contact us at www.AssetManager.org. Go to our contact page and we'll do our best to answer any questions for you. But again, that's just one module out of the program that you buy. Really good price, £299, and you do get all the modules for that price. Again, we'll just close that off, and again, you're back to the screen. Now on the settings screen, just to remind you, you might not want everybody to be able to alter all those programs. Again, you go to Form Security, and this will let you set up from your Windows username which fields people can look at and as to whether they're locked, disabled, or hidden or obscured. Very useful if you want people to have a look at information, not be able to alter it, or not be able to actually see it at all. Very good for security, very simple to use. Anyway, that's an overview of the Asset Register. It's one module out of the suite of the programs, and again, www.assetmanager.org, and the program starts from £299 for a single user. It is fully Microsoft Office compatible, very simple to install, and is one of the market leading programs at the moment. Thank you for looking at this video.